into the crime. Murder Man podcast. Andy got the facts. Amanda spitting fast. Delve into the night. Mysteries unfold. Cold cases sitting deep. Not a story told.
A long day.
Tell me about it.
No, I'm not going through all that.
Yeah, I really
Just
didn't.
a long day.
Yeah, I really didn't want to know anyway. It's just what you say, right?
Yeah, and do people actually start telling you all their problems?
Yes, at least in a work setting.
I don't like that.
I don't
If
like
you
that
say
either.
like, "Hey, how you doing?" you expect someone to be like, "Good, you?" That's it.
I mean, I say that to my psychiatrist when I'm ready to kill myself.
Me too.
Hey, how you doing? Good, you? It's just like such a reflex.
Ew. Okay, every time it's time to do therapy, she comes on and I go, "Hey, how's it going?" It's like I can't even help it.
Yeah,
Like I ask her the same thing every time for years. And every time I say it, I like hate myself for saying it.
I had my first psychiatrist who was a dude. I don't like working with dudes. Except my PCP is
No.
a dude. He's great. But anyway, this first psychiatrist, I would make small talk with him like the second or third time in there. And I'm like, oh, I'm doing this. How are you doing? Something
Yeah, I
like
do the
that.
same.
And
Yeah.
he's like, he's like, Andy, when I ask you how you're doing, I mean like medically. I don't do small talk. And I was like, okay.
I like that.
It was a little rude, pissed me off.
Yeah, but that's a doctor. It's different. They want to know what you're doing medically. A therapist now, if they said that, that would be real weird.
I still thought it
'Cause-
was rude.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
take things
imagine a therapist saying that. Well, one of my things I got to work on is letting things go.
yeah, definitely.
That's my homework for this week in group, letting things go.
I agree.
It's not easy.
Yeah, just let it go. Let it go. Isn't that a song?
I don't know, but I want to hear you sing more of it.
No, don't. I'm a really bad singer.
Probably not as bad as you think.
One time in the car, you told me I was a good singer. Do you remember that?
What was my end game? What was my motive?
I don't know. Yeah, we were in my sob, and you're like, you know what? You're a really good singer. I was like, that's such a lie. What do you want from me right now?
I think the last time I drove was your sob.
Oh my God, I think so. Probably one of the last times. Because I got a boob job. Wasn't that why?
Yeah, you were out of commission for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I had to nurse you back to health.
The nicest caretaker ever.
I was good. I was a good guy.
Should we start the true crime podcast?
I mean, yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys, welcome back to Murder Man with Andy and Amanda. How professional was that?
That was a pretty good come in or whatever you call it. Intro.
Lead in?
Lead in. Intro.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that was a good one.
Okay, I think that we should talk about Ed Kemper because this is the one you wanted to do, and I was like, and I didn't remember much about it, but now I'm kind of up to date, so I'll let you start.
Okay, I was super excited to do Ed Kemper because this dude is the original motherfucker. And I mean that literally.
Okay, so you're saying Kempner, I'm saying Kemper.
Oh, you're saying it right, Kemper.
Okay.
Remember, I can't do that. I had a problem with Grey's Anatomy, that doctor, too.
Yeah, April Kepner.
Wait, did she have an N?
She's Kepner. Kepner. And
What did
Ed is Kemper.
But what did I call her? I had her wrong.
Yeah, something.
Jeez, I just can't do those names. Anyway, Ed Kemper.
Yeah.
With a Kemper.
The co-ed killer?
Yeah, co-ed killer. That's what he's famously known as.
All right.
But
did you know he's still alive?
I did know that, and he looks like shit. I looked him up. He looks absolutely like hell.
Well, he's like 80 or something.
Yeah, and he's like 7 feet.
Do?
Yeah, he's like 7 feet tall. I don't think you age well when you're that tall.
Listen to this. I was thinking that, by the way, just a side note. Usually when you're that tall, you don't live that long.
Is that true?
Yes. That's 100% true.
I wonder why.
The taller you are, the less long you live.
How tall was Ryan?
Oh, not that tall.
Yeah, he was like 6'5".
He's a 6'9".
I know, I'm just saying. Tallest guy I ever met.
Ed Kemper could have been an NBA player if he wasn't so awkward.
Yeah, I mean, it could have went a different way, I guess.
Okay, so let me just tell you really quick. Taller people tend to have shorter lifespans on average due to a combination of biological and environmental factors like higher total cell count and cancer risk they have, increased metabolic demand, and greater strain on their cardio system because the blood has to work harder to pump throughout a tall body. Think about how far it has to go, and then back to the heart. Anyway, people who are taller die younger.
Can I tell you
Boom.
something?
Yeah.
That doesn't really bother me
Why?
because I'm short.
Yeah, totally. Me too.
So by default, we live longer, right?
Yeah, but we have a lot of other problems, so probably not.
Yeah. Well,
Let's get serious. Okay, I'm sorry. I got off track with his height.
okay, but it's
Well,
not just his height. So
Okay.
here's one thing you probably didn't know about Ed Kemper. This motherfucker was born at over 13 pounds. 13-pound baby.
Holy shit, is almost as big as my husband.
What was he, like 10 pounds?
He's like 10'8".
That's amazing. I think once you go into double digits, like there's something wrong with you.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13. Oh my God.
13 pounds. Can you imagine that?
No wonder his mother had like a grudge against him.
Yeah, true. I mean,
Oof.
wow.
That was mean. I'm not saying that in a
What do
bad
you
way. I
mean?
just, like, because she was mean to him. I know that.
That's all right. You can be mean to Ed Kemper. It's no big
I
deal.
can, right?
Yeah.
I can be mean to him.
We can
Okay.
hate on serial killers.
Okay, because she had to push out 13 pounds.
13 fucking pounds.
Oof. And that was back in the 40s or something? So they weren't giving her a C-section. They probably just
Yeah,
pulled
he
it
was
out of her.
born, Ed was born December 18th, 1948 in Burbank to Clarnell Elizabeth Stage. That's his mother, Clarnell.
Clarnell. What a name.
Clarnell.
Okay.
And he says as early as 8 years old that he wanted to kill his mother. So he was already fucking crazy.
Yeah, I have a question about that too.
Okay.
Do you think that he was born that way, or do you think environmental stuff, or both? I have an answer. I just want to know what you think.
In Ed's case, or like are serial killers born or made just generally?
No, in his case.
I mean, I think Ed was made. I think his mother was that much of a bitch.
Okay, I looked into it with him
Yeah.
from a psychiatrist that had talked to him or whatever, and he said that he was definitely born with a gene that was different.
Sure.
Most of them are, or there's something a little off, but you don't have to become a serial killer, or none of that shit has to come out unless your environment is bad, and
Yeah.
that's probably what happened to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely what happened to him.
He killed small animals too when he was young. Yeah.
Yeah, he was 9 years old when his parents separated, and he was forced to live with his mom and his sisters. And to your point, that same year he began hurting animals. When he was 10, he decapitated the pet cat and hung its. Then he hung its head on a spike. So like this
Oh my
is a
God.
troubled fucking kid. So to your point, yeah, he's born a psychopath, but like it's a pretty far reach or step from like animal cruelty to becoming a serial killer. So I think you have to be made that way along
It's
the way.
really, most serial killers start out killing animals as kids. Like that's a thing. So they say when you have a kid and if you see that it starts trying to kill animals, then there's a problem.
Yeah, I heard that. I
Like-
heard bedwetting and being a pyro is similar too.
Huge. Although I did play with fire as a kid.
I was actually
Same.
scared to death of fire as a kid. I would run home when kids would play with fire. I was afraid of it. Always.
Really?
Yeah.
What a baby.
What a pussy.
My mom told me how stupid this is. I would take sticks and push it into the fireplace, fuck around with the fire.
Yeah.
And like I wouldn't stop. Sit in front of it and mess with it. And she said, people who play in the fire pee in the bed, right? And I'm like, I believed it. I believed it until I was an adult. That if you play in fire, you piss the bed.
That must be like an old sociopath kid's joke.
I think she just made it up. So I would stop.
But it's interesting that if you're the early signs of being a young psychopath are bedwetting and playing with fire.
Yeah, maybe she didn't make it up.
Nah, maybe that's like an old North Carolina saying.
Do they say wives' tale? That's what they say.
A wives'
Old wives'
tale.
tale.
Yeah, wives' tale.
Okay, I'm sorry. Got off subject again. But not really though.
No.
So he killed small animals
Yep.
and hung the cat up. And on the co-ed thing I just watched, by the way, the sister in an interview with the psychiatrist, they have all those tapes, right?
Yep.
So the psychiatrist interviewed his sister and him when he was in jail when he first got arrested. And she said that he also put parts of the cat into a suitcase and just left it there, and his mom found it.
Ew.
Like its legs and whatever else.
I mean, you got to be really messed up to do that shit.
Yes.
Could you imagine?
I would be afraid of a big kid like him, too.
I'd be scared to
Like,
death.
yeah, he's so big and he's doing weird shit. No way, get him out.
Yeah, and like, how does he go on to be a serial killer? Like, just minding in his old business, looking like a regular old non-serial killer guy, and then he's picking up hitchhikers.
Ugh, I would never get in the car with someone that's 7 feet tall.
Nah, that's freakishly tall. That scares me. That's like a foot and a half taller than me.
That's terrible. It's terrifying.
Terrifying.
So it says at age 13 that he was forced to live in the basement by his mother, and that's when he began fantasizing, like really wanting to kill her. That's what I saw anyway on the thing.
Why'd he have to live in the basement?
Because they moved into a house that only, I guess, had 2 bedrooms. So the mother had a bedroom, and he had 2 sisters that shared a bedroom. And then there was only the basement, or I guess it's whatever. So his mother said, let's put him in the basement, which is sad, right? And they said it was like, that's where it all started, where it got really bad because it was really dark. The sister said it was really dark and like, gross. It's a basement. And just walking down there is very dark and you couldn't turn a light on until you were in the basement. So she said he would scream in his sleep and cry and he didn't want to live down there. But his mother made him.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. I mean, basements can be scary.
Basements scared me as a kid. Mine did.
Did you have a basement? We had a basement.
Yeah, we did. We turned it into like a pool table and all that shit. It still
Dude,
scared me.
Had the same exact thing, turned it into a pool table and all that shit.
We had the same house.
I know, it's crazy. It's wild. Now, his sister was also crazy. Did you know that, well, according to Ed, I don't know, who knows what's true or not, but according to Ed, when they were younger, she threw him in front of a train.
Holy shit.
And then in another time, she kicked him in the pool to drown.
Damn. Was
But he
she big too?
survived. Oh, I'm sure. I hear the mother was a giant too.
Oh my God. So when I hear her speaking though, on the tapes, she's so soft-spoken. And like, I don't know. She's very soft-spoken. She answers very, very quickly, quick little sentences, doesn't say much. Ed, on the other hand, he just says everything. He just tells him everything he wants to know. He's open about it.
Yeah, he's
like in a harsh way. Like, yeah, I just picked her up, wanted to kill her. Like, he just seemed like nonchalant about it.
I think Ed was like one of like the really featured profiles when they started doing like all the serial killer profiles in the 70s and the behavioral analysis unit and stuff within the FBI. I think he was like a key part of that.
He actually helped them. He helped them come up with a lot of things. The FBI, they used him because his IQ was 145 to 150.
That's wild. I mean, isn't that kind of common though amongst psychopaths? They're pretty smart usually.
Maybe they just get really bored with life. They want to do, I don't know. But yes, it is true. But they said his intelligence and the way he manipulated people and like evaded, I guess, capture for so long that they wanted to know. And I don't know if you remember John Douglas from the FBI.
Yes,
he was a big...
That's who it is, yep.
And Robert Ressler. They were the behavioral science unit for the FBI for criminal profiling, and they used Ed Kemper, and he answered all their questions and helped them learn a way to capture people. Crazy.
That's super crazy. So I was thinking, we could try, we talked about trying something new.
Mm-hmm.
And, doing like 5 things you didn't know about Ed Kemper.
Yeah, sure.
So I snuck in the first one about him being like a super fat 13-pound baby.
Yeah, that's fucking funny.
And I got another one that's, I think, my favorite of all the Ed Kemper facts that I didn't know. So another thing you might not know is that his two favorite childhood games were gas chamber and electric chair.
Oh, that's great.
That he invented. And basically, he would either force his sisters to, or he would, and you would just like pretend to electrocute or have a gas chamber, and then Ed would just like, seize out on the floor and pretend to die, and he just loved that game.
Oh my God. I thought he would be the one putting them in there.
He did both.
Okay.
But he also liked to be in the gas chamber.
Wow.
So yeah, this guy is
normal.
Yeah, super normal, just so dark.
I like that fact.
I mean, those
That
sound
was a
like
good
fun.
one.
Those sound like fun games, right?
I thought you were going to say he liked to play like the surgery game. What's it called? Where it goes
Oh
"Bah"
God.
every time you hit the wrong thing.
Is it called surgery? No.
No.
Operation. I knew it
Operation.
was something simple like that.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. And I was like, oh, I liked that too.
Yeah, no, gas chamber and electric chair, homemade games.
All right. Do you want to tell all the facts or some here and there?
I say we just go some here and there, right? What do you
Okay,
think?
yeah, so let's get back to the timeline then. So, age 15 is where the first murders happened, right?
Yeah, so at 14, he ran away from his mom and he tried to live with his dad. But that didn't go good because
Yeah.
his dad was like one of those guys with a new family that he liked. So he was like totally not into Ed. He had like a new son by this time.
He also
Um,
had a German wife who was very pretty. Did you see her? She's
no,
blonde, beautiful, and Ed kept watching her take her clothes off in the room. Like he kept sneaking up on her when she was naked.
classic Ed.
And she would see him, but he would just be watching her, like not, just watching from far away,
Creepy.
stalking her. And she said, "I want him out of the house."
Yeah. Well, what are
So,
you going to do
yeah.
at that point? You have to get rid of him.
What do you do with him though? He's 14 years old. He's your kid.
Well, you send him to live with his grandparents. And that's exactly
Okay.
what his father did. Shipped
Yeah,
him
in a
off to
mean way.
grandparents. Yeah, shipped him right off.
They tricked him there.
Oh, I didn't know that. How'd they do that?
They went and said they were going to go see the grandparents on a family trip, and then took him there and left him and left. That's it. And it was like deserted.
And this is already an angry child.
Yeah. And you're basically putting him out in the woods with not many people around.
Yep.
Yep.
So you're right. By this time, Ed's 15, and on August 27th, 1964, he shoots his grandmother, and then he stabs her a bunch of times. And then his grandfather comes home, and he just runs outside and shoots his grandfather with a rifle. And he said he shot his grandfather because he was scared of, he's afraid of how mad his grandfather was going to be for killing his grandmother. But he shot his grandmother because he just wanted to know what it felt like.
Exactly. I heard that too. You want to know what it felt like. And he said that he wasn't like sure he wanted to kill his grandfather. And he said he saw his grandfather smiling at him, which is so sad, right? Because he was getting groceries out of the car and he smiled at him, and he didn't want him to see that he was going to kill him. So that makes me feel like he had some sort of feelings. Like I know that's crazy, but like if you think about that, right, in the moment that, oh, I don't want him to see me kill him because he's smiling at me and like he loves me.
That's interesting.
But with his grandmother, he didn't give a shit. He wanted to know what it felt like. So I don't know.
I think he hated women, and he was probably always looking for that paternal figure.
Oh my God, you're right. Because around this time, 15 years old, he was saying all the girls at school made fun of him. And he said they would laugh at him for being so tall. And he always felt like they weren't laughing with him, they were laughing at him. So you're right. I think he hated women. And it started with his mother. Wow.
Damn. That's what happens when she locks you in the basement and humiliates you as a kid.
Yeah, and then girls at school are mean. Think about that. Ugh. They can be mean.
Girls are...
I hung out with mean bitches.
You were a mean bitch, though.
I wasn't. I hung out with everybody.
With them.
Of course, I was an asshole sometimes, but I was never mean to people who were like nerdy or anything like that, ever.
I believe it. You're a nice person. I could see that.
Never been called nice in my life. Thank you.
Yeah. We're just saying we're just talking all kinds of shit on this podcast.
You're nice too.
I could tell that hurt you to say like you had to use new muscles in your face to say that.
Oh my God. I almost died.
What, saying that?
Yeah. No, you're so sweet. Have you ever been called sweet?
No.
I don't think, have I? No. Those terms are weird. I got uncomfortable about it. Let's move on.
Okay, yeah, I mean, got me over here thinking all kinds of things. All right.
I think my armpits started sweating.
That doesn't take much though, right?
No, just like sleeping will do it.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Sorry, I didn't want to blow up your spot.
You can blow up any of my spots but just think about it. Tit for tat. You blow up my spot, I'll blow up yours.
Yeah, so
So
your armpits sweat a perfectly normal amount, is what I
yeah,
was going
so
to say.
so watch yourself.
So they sweat a perfectly normal amount, just the right
All right.
amount. Or you probably don't even sweat. That's too gross.
Exactly. None of
Exactly.
that.
None of that.
Okay, so he killed his grandparents, and then what had happened to him?
So they diagnosed him schizophrenic. And like schizophrenic back then is kind of like this catch all. Like if you're crazy, they'll just diagnose you schizophrenic. So instead of sending him to prison, they sent him to a Atascadero State Hospital for the criminally insane. And
And it was for adults. Did you know that?
oh, that's gross. So he's just like
There were no
super
children there.
victimized.
Yeah, well, there were no children there because I think because he was so big and tall and like he looked way older than he was. But anyway, this was an adult hospital they put him in. And he even said on the tapes that that he was just as scared of being killed there as he would be in a prison.
That's so fucked up. I don't like when they send kids to adult prison.
Even if they kill a bunch of people?
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I guess you get to decide what to do with them after they become of age and how heinous the crime is. But like, no one underage should be going into an adult prison or criminal and whatever mental institution.
I agree because you think about this and like even as bad as they are, their brains aren't fully developed yet.
Of course not.
So they're not the same. Even though they're terrible, they're not the same. He
No,
was 15 years old.
They say your brain's not fully developed till you're 25. And to your point,
As a man,
he's 15 years old. He can't even drive. The state doesn't even let him drive. How are you sending him to a Atascadero for the criminal? And what is a criminal insane asylum like, Amanda?
I mean, I can't imagine because it makes me so sad because I've read so many books on these things. I try. You hate reading books, but I'm trying to make you.
It's not my fault. I can't read.
Yeah, you just can't read. Like you mean like you're unable?
No, like I'm literate. It's just like I can't read and process and things like make sense and I follow along. I have to watch things on TV.
Yeah. So I've tried to make you read. I tried to make you read this one book about because of having bipolar disorder for both of us and what they used to do to bipolar people back in the day in these insane asylums. And I wonder if they did the stuff like this to people like him, which I'm sure shit like this happened. But they would put you, they put you in rooms with no light sometimes, and you're in padded cells and shit. Like that already makes you crazy. Why would you do that? That doesn't rehabilitate anybody. Number one, they put you in ice baths, and because they think that that's gonna make the crazy come out of you.
Like, it's just gonna snap you out of it like a sniffing salt.
They put manic people who are bipolar in ice baths and made them sit there until they were like basically almost dead, and then they would pull them out.
Wow.
So they did so many different things, fucked up things to people who had mental illness in these places. So I don't know what Ed went through, but it couldn't have been good.
No, it definitely couldn't have been good.
Yeah. So that you said schizophrenic, and he obviously had anti-personality disorder, which is a psychopath.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So if you were stuck and you had to go to either state prison or a state mental hospital, what would you rather do?
Oh God. I don't know, man, because don't you feel like, I know this sounds crazy, but in prison you can kind of run some shit?
Not you.
What do you mean?
You think you'd be running shit in prison?
Yeah, like I'll be like the main bitch.
Boss bitch.
You don't think?
Boss bitch.
Yeah.
Well, you are rich, so you'd be having that fat commissary.
Yeah, I could just bribe people with my commissary money. And,
yeah. Potato chips for protection.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I could see that.
What would you rather be?
Insane asylum.
Okay, insane asylum now in this year, but not back then, I don't think. Because they basically almost killed you every day, and they hurt you, they shocked you, they did all kinds of things. They would think that you have like something wrong with you because you have bipolar. It was a different thing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Back then, that shit was, they experimented on you and tortured you.
Yes.
But nowadays, I think they just fucking shoot you with like
Thorazine and you just chill.
Thorazine all day and you just kind of fucking chill till it's
if
time
they
to
would
die.
if they just gave me shot me with morphine and let me sit at the window, I think I would rather do that. You're right.
If that was an option, I'd sign up for that.
Right now.
Right now.
Well, because people don't get it. They think they were being assholes by joking about this. But if you've ever had like a major mental illness like that, and you can't get out of your own head, and it's really scary and it's fucked up, you would understand what we mean. Like how you just want to chill and get out of your own head.
Yeah, or you just want to sleep because it's been a week.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's the worst.
Yes. Yeah, I wonder if Ed Kemper slept.
You know, I bet he didn't. I bet he was up all night thinking about creepy shit.
Definitely. Definitely. You think about it, like if you think about sociopaths and psychopaths, they're never in bed.
Nah.
You ever thought about that? Like think about
Yeah.
even Dexter on the show. When did he
Right?
sleep?
Never. He was always out hunting or working.
He's at the police station all day. He hunted all night in those crazy clothes. And then he would just be like back at work with donuts the next day.
Yeah, you're so right. I bet Ed was the same way. They said he was a model inmate while he was there.
He talked about that in the show.
So they got him.
He said he did it on purpose. He said in the hospital that he did it on purpose because
Okay.
he knew he wanted out. He knew that he wanted out to do other things, and he knew that he had to be good to get out. He had a plan.
Well, that's what I read. And I also read that he was so good, Amanda, that they chose him to help administer psychiatric tests to other inmates.
Yes, because they thought he was rehabilitated.
And then he would go on to memorize all the answers to these tests and cheat his way out of prison or the mental asylum.
I mean, why would they give someone with 150 IQ all of this power? And they know they're going to be tricked, but he's so much smarter than you.
You know, it really is mind-blowing. Seems like back in the day, they were a lot more lenient with that stuff. Or a lot more...
Lenient with that stuff, but terribly to you physically. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would never happen these days.
Well,
never.
And like you already said, that was going to be the third thing I was going to say that we might not know about Ed Kemper. He's got a 145 IQ.
Sorry, I've ruined that for you.
No, you didn't ruin anything. It just goes to show you how smart these guys are and how well they can manipulate the system, because he went to the insane asylum or the state prison for the criminally insane when he was 15 years old, and just 6 years later, literally on his 21st birthday, he got paroled.
Wow. He was ready to roll. 21 years old. Yeah.
And you want to know what was even more fucked up?
Mm-hmm.
They expunged his record.
Oh my God, they sealed it.
They sealed it.
No one could even know that he did all these things. So he could just get jobs or whatever.
Yep, double murder. In fact, it's so fucked up. They expunged his record that he wanted to be a police officer. He applied to be a police officer. That was the job he was trying to get when he got back on the street.
It's a perfect job to do this.
Of course.
They're like, look, you're looking for yourself all day. Like,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But unfortunately, the Santa Cruz Police Department wouldn't hire him because he was too tall, whatever that means.
Okay, I don't even understand that, but but the cops really loved him, and he hung out with them all the time at the bar.
At that bar, I think it was called the Jury Room.
Mm-hmm. It was the
Jury
Room,
and he would get like inside information into his own murders. Sick.
He said he would get super drunk with them, and they would just tell him everything. And so it just was easy for him. And then he also said, because some people wondered if he was an alcoholic.
Oh, I didn't know
because
that.
Apparently, maybe that's another fun fact, is that his mother was an alcoholic. Yeah, I know his mother was an alcoholic. I don't know about his father. But he said when he was going around taking these hitchhikers, he would drink the whole time he was driving.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, I know that he was like afraid of women. Like at one point he had said that he had an encounter with a woman, and it was like so embarrassing for him to be sexual with her that he just never did it again.
Do you know why?
Why?
So the psychiatrist asked him what was his problem sexually, because he talked about that a little bit, like about how he said he felt weird sexually. And he said, why were you impotent, is what the guy said. And he said, Ed Kemper said, no, impotence, that means you can't get it up, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, that's not what I am. He says, but I can't come. He said he could get it up, but he couldn't finish.
Unless he did something crazy, right?
Or I guess, but he just said that was what he was embarrassed about.
Okay, so that's what it was. So like he wouldn't be with women, even though, so he has that whole weird thing with his mother, and he's afraid of women, and he would be too embarrassed to be with him sexually.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where he decided that he would have to kill them.
And then be with them sexually.
Exactly, because there wouldn't be any embarrassment. So,
Right. That's so fucked.
yeah, so at the time, he was trying to be, to your point, he was trying to be a police officer. He was hanging out the jury room, and he was really starting in his mind to escalate his fantasies. And he was injured in a car accident and received a $15,000 settlement, which, like, in today's
Damn.
money is like $100,000.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so he bought a new car, and he started doing his practice runs. And that's where he would start picking up hitchhikers. I think at one point he claimed he picked up like 150 plus hitchhikers just doing practice runs, just trying to like learn how to manipulate people, learn how to do it, learn how to like fake, be less intimidating, and work on all his tricks and things like that.
Yeah, I know one trick that he did that could be a fun fact unless you already know it.
No, let's keep going with the fun facts, man. No limit. No limit.
When he bought his car, he modified it with child locks so they couldn't escape.
Ah, that's so
Scary.
premeditated and creepy.
Yep, that's the first thing that he did. Is he made?
Oh, I hate that. I
locks.
hate that. I hate that. I hate being in a car where the child locks are on.
Me too, and because you have a problem with being stuck.
Yeah, I don't like being stuck. I don't like being stuck. I'll break a window if I have to.
Me too. I'll just start kicking windows.
Yeah,
kicking that guy in the face while he's driving. Just make us. I would wreck, wouldn't you? Like,
of course,
into a tree before I would be locked into this car with this guy.
And you look over at this big goofy motherfucker. The door's all locked up. You know you're about to get.
You reach over and you try to open the door and it won't open.
Oh, that's the scariest moment of your life, and you just know what's coming. You know what's fucking coming.
Yes, because the first girl that he took, what was her name? Koo was her last name? Koo? Was it
Aiko?
Aiko Koo?
I think so.
Or what? I don't know if that was the very first one, but it was maybe the first or the second. But she was a high school dancer, and he strangled her, and then he defiled her body post-mortem. Okay,
so he's a necrophiliac.
He is. And I don't know if he decided that before or if he decided that in the moment or whatever, that he was going to start doing that. Probably planned. But apparently he told her, this is so scary. He said he talked to her for 2.5 hours, and she thought he was a nice guy. And she was just being nice and said that she missed her ride. And he said, I'll take you wherever you want to go. And she was like, okay. They ended up like being sweet and talking for 2.5 hours. And then he looks at her and says, I just want you to know that you've been abducted.
Oh my God.
I mean, my heart dropped.
Goosebumps. I have goosebumps.
Yeah. And then, and then there's these locks on his doors. So, she's not getting out. And he said that she was she was very nice. She was just trying her best, right? To be,
yeah.
I don't know. I think she was just trying not to get killed.
Damn.
Sad. Very sad.
What a moment of sheer terror when he says you've been abducted.
After just talking to you normal for 2.5 hours and laughing and sharing, and then he just looks at you and says that.
Well, apparently he was polite.
Yeah. Until he wasn't.
Yeah, until he wasn't, right? Do you think he
starts choking you?
Do you think all of his like social skills were learned? As a matter
practice?
Of yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, I think that he practiced picking girls up, and he said he probably picked up around 200 girls, and obviously didn't kill them all. He just picked them up and took them places. So he was practicing.
Wonder what made him go over the edge.
Well, he always planned to go over the edge. He just said that he was practicing picking people up, and he noticed that there was always a place where someone could have seen him when he was doing this. So he would have to just let them back out wherever they want. He actually said, I'll take them wherever they want to go. No sweat. He said, no sweat. And like, for some reason that made me laugh. I don't know. Like, what? The way he talked. But he said, I just took them wherever they wanted to go. No sweat. Because he noticed that it was so easy to be seen, and that he knew he was never going to let anyone see him. He was not going to get caught.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's where he earned his nickname, the co-ed killer, because his MO was to pick up and murder these hitchhiking college girls from Berkeley.
Yeah, and I didn't know that it was only women that were called co-eds. Did you?
I think I knew that.
I learned that today.
Yeah, it's a little sexist, right?
There was porn magazines that were co-eds naked, co-eds this, co-eds that. I had no idea that co-ed was just a woman.
Did
But
they
it
say
is.
that? Did they say that in a documentary or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The woman, one of the women from the school, from Santa Cruz, wherever he was,
So
doing
guys are
this.
just like regular students, but you have to call women co-eds?
Yeah, because they were just able to start getting bachelor's degrees. They were letting women do that, I guess. And they separated them and called them co-eds. Like, that's how they separated them by words, which is so stupid, but yeah.
It seems like so long ago, but it really wasn't.
No.
I got a fun fact for you.
Okay.
Did you know this guy was actually engaged at one point in his 20s?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Had a girlfriend.
Well, that's so weird then, because if he had a girlfriend, it seems like he would start liking women more, or like not being so weird and scared.
Yeah, I think it's just like Dahmer and Bundy. I think they love the idea of being with a dead woman.
Yeah, maybe. Like Bundy only had the girlfriend to keep cover.
For sure.
Yeah. Because she had a kid and he was like, oh, this makes me look like a family man. But this guy, who was he engaged to?
I don't remember her name or exactly, but she was
Yeah.
a 17-year-old high school student when Ed was in his early 20s.
Ew. Okay.
Yeah, just creep vibes all around this guy.
Yeah.
But
Not
that was
surprised.
probably another beard too, right? Just to keep things normal, make his mother proud, because he's still weirdly obsessed with his mom.
Maybe. Hated her though.
Hated her guts, and
Mm-hmm.
he ended up killing her, of course. So he murdered 8 females over this 11-month period when he started doing his
In the 70s.
when he started doing his for real runs.
Mm-hmm.
And his mother and her best friend were 2 of his victims.
Yeah, and I thought the craziest thing he did to his mother was cut out her vocal cords and put them in the garbage disposal and said, I've been waiting my whole life for this, because she never shut up and was
Oh my
always
God.
yelling at him, always screaming at him, never shut up. So he cut out her vocal cords.
How apropos. And then he just jammed him
Yeah.
shredded him in the garbage disposal.
Yes. And his sister actually said she understood because his mother did always yell at him. She understood why he did that, because it meant something for him.
That's wild. That wasn't the only thing he did to her, okay? He
No.
also, quote unquote, humiliated her body. But my favorite part is he cuts her head off, right? And
Mm-hmm.
how angry and disturbed you must be that he decided to throw darts at it, right?
What?
So he was so pissed at his mother, he threw darts at it for a while until he got bored with that, and then he decided to skull fuck it.
Oh my God. So he's just randomly doing shit.
Randomly doing shit, like hating on her. So he's having sex with her corpse, he's skull fucking her, he's throwing darts at the head. Just unbelievable.
Wow. Cutting her cords. Just like whatever he feels like doing.
Yeah, this is an angry murder.
This was his worst murder.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, who does that? Especially to their own mother.
Yeah. He did say, and this is not about his mother, he said, the most beautiful part of a woman is her head. And that's why I like to hang heads.
Well, that's another thing you didn't know about his mother. She gave great head.
She what? What did you say?
I said she gave great head.
You're an idiot.
But you kind of ruined it when you didn't hear it.
Because I thought, I couldn't believe you said it. I was like, wait, did you say that? Because usually it's me saying the bullshit. So.
Yeah, no, I just meant
Yeah. Oh my God.
cut her head off and shit. Loved heads.
Why would he do that?
Hated her.
Yeah. But he didn't kill her friend until the next day. You know that, right?
Well, where was she during all this?
She wasn't there.
Okay.
He invited his mother's friend Sally over the next day. He said to create an alibi, which I don't understand what that means because he killed her.
Mm-hmm.
He said he invited his mother Sally, over and to create an alibi, but ended up killing her. April 21st, 1973.
And that was probably his last murder, right?
Yeah, then he confessed 2 days later.
Wow.
Yep. Fled to Colorado, probably stayed at your house. And
It's where all the serial killers are from.
it's true.
Or do their business or escape to.
Yeah, why?
I don't know, man. It's beautiful country out here.
Yeah. Oh, so that's why they all go there because it's beautiful.
I don't know, man. But I'm like a couple miles from Columbine, which is
I know.
crazy.
But why? Seriously, is there a reason why most serial killers just end up in Colorado or
I
around
don't
that
know. I
area?
think it's probably a good place to just disappear. All these little mountain towns, and
It's very cute there.
they're very cute, very hallmarky. I think serial killers like that hallmarky vibe, you know?
That makes no sense. So he fled to Colorado, but he said he had no satisfaction from the killings. And he called the police from a payphone and he just confessed and they didn't believe him. The
Of
police
course
knew
not.
him from the
Oh,
jury
that's
room.
right. Big Ed, their buddy.
They just said police initially didn't believe him because he was so friendly with them. The only way they believed him is when he took him to his mother's house to show them. They were like, yeah, right, Ed. So,
That's creepy.
yeah, the cops liked him too much. See, here's the thing. He could have gotten away with this for a while. He could have kept going.
I think it was just over. Like he finally fulfilled his fantasy since he was 8 years old. He killed his mother.
But why do you think he said he had no satisfaction from the killings? Why do you think he said that?
Maybe that wasn't his thing. Maybe he got off on the necrophilia. Maybe the killing was just a means to an end, so that he could have that corpse to do his thing with.
Maybe. And I think maybe the only person he really cared about killing ever was his mom.
Yeah. Well, you know, Dahmer said the same thing. Dahmer claimed that he did not like the killing or the cleanup. That was actually something he hated, was the killing.
Well, who wants to clean up? Like, damn, what a mess.
I just passed on a joke, but the point is, Dahmer never liked killing, so that was just a means to an end because he needed his victims to be incapacitated.
He was such a creep. That one.
Yeah,
I can't wait till we talk about him.
I can't wait till we cover him. That's probably a two-parter.
It maybe. I mean, he was a fucking whack. Oh, and the last documentary on Netflix about him was great.
Yeah, and not to like get too sidetracked into Dahmer, but his father is like, I just feel so sad for his poor father, and I wonder if Dahmer's life could have went a little differently. Like if he could have been like openly gay.
Yeah, and like supported by his parents.
Yeah, and made social connections because, like, I don't know, the Dahmer love story. He says all he wanted was love. Yeah,
because they just left him in his house alone as a kid and shit. So it could have gone another way, I'm sure.
Yeah, like that whole are they born or made serial killers? I think Dahmer was made.
Maybe. He killed animals and shit too.
Yeah, but his father hooked him up, so that was a different story.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into that.
Taxidermy, that was like their thing. But yeah, we'll get into that. So, okay, last fun fact I have for Ed Kemper is he's not only a necrophiliac, he actually dabbled in cannibalism too.
Oh, he tried it out.
Just had to taste it. Just had to have a little taste.
That doesn't mean he was a cannibal, though. I think he just probably wanted to see.
Yeah, he just, like I said, he dabbled. He didn't dive full in.
Yeah, it's like, never mind.
What?
People dabble in things, and sometimes you don't like it, is what I mean.
What's the weirdest thing you've dabbled?
Oh, we won't go there.
No?
No.
Okay.
No, I was just thinking, even like sexually with things. Like sometimes, like, it doesn't mean you're gay if you dabble, right? Do you think? Like, say you're a dude and you like kiss a guy because you want to just see what it's like, and then you're like, not for me. Same thing, yeah? No?
I don't know
Oh my
how to
God.
respond to that.
What the hell?
I don't know how to respond.
Because you don't know, or like you don't feel that way?
No, I just don't know what a PC answer would be.
Why are you PC? What the fuck is this podcast?
I don't know. What's the question
murder,
again?
Man. You just said the dude gave his mom gave good head to a skull.
To some skull fuckery?
Yes.
All right, what was the question again?
Fuck you.
What was the question again?
I just said, is it the same? Like you just dabble in things sometimes. He tried a little meat, the cannibalism thing, and he was like, not for me. I said, isn't that the same thing as like, maybe you kiss a guy and you're like, oh, not for me, and you move on. Like, is that like, we're just talking about dabbling. You can dabble. And not enjoy
I don't dabble.
Okay.
You might dabble. Dabbling might be for you. Like I could see dabbled. Yeah, you've dabbled.
I've dabbled, yes,
But
but not in
dabbling's
cannibalism.
no, I think I would dabble in cannibalism first, but
Yeah, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew it.
what did you know? That I secretly
That
wanted to try human meat?
no, that you were just so the other way. Like you were just like you wanting to scream at me about that one.
No, I would never scream. And I'm very modern. I'm a
Yeah,
modern
you
man.
are. But you are just so heterosexual that like that just didn't make sense for you. So I get it.
Well, no, I just when we started talking about you, the analogy made sense.
It did. Oh yeah, I've dabbled. I've kissed girls and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Do you want to tell the
Just
viewers about that, or
no, not today. Maybe on a different episode we'll go into that.
yeah, we'll go on a different podcast.
Let's talk about his trial and his sentence, though, to
So,
to
yeah,
wrap him up.
yeah. What do you got for us?
Well, November 1973, he just pled guilty to all 8 murders, and he asked for the death penalty. He was like, "I want to die. Please kill me." And they said no because California had just suspended it, so he got 8 life sentences instead.
That sucks. I would so want the death penalty.
Yeah, but that's an easy way out, don't you think?
What do you mean?
Then you just get to die. Now
Well,
he
yeah,
has to sit in prison and think about his life till he dies.
Oh yeah,
And
that
think about all the
sucks.
things he did.
I would rather be on death row. I hear death row is where it's at. You get like a TV, you get your own cell, just chilling.
True. Yeah. So wait, so that means he's not on death row because there's no death penalty?
I don't think so. I think you're off the row when you get life sentences.
Damn. So he's got 8 life sentences.
He's probably just chilling in Gen Pop.
What if he got out?
There's no way
Could you
he's getting
imagine?
out. Like, how's he gonna sneak out of jail wearing like a
No,
tiny prison uniform?
no, I'm saying what if he tricked them so much they're like, "Oh, he's rehabilitated. He's 80 years old. He's
Well, you know,
fine. Let's just let him out."
I was actually thinking of that the other day. I was
Yeah.
thinking, like you have these states who declare the death penalty unconstitutional, so that like invalidates a prior sentence of death, right?
Uh-huh.
What happens in the future when a more liberal Supreme Court invalidates life without parole as unconstitutional? Because we're heading there, right, with criminal justice reform. Every other civilized
I don't
country
think
in the
we're
world.
I don't think we're heading there with this
I
government.
think, well, maybe not this current administration,
Yeah.
but I think, like societally,
I think
humanitarianly, I think we're headed towards that direction. And then what happens when someone like Ed Kemper gets a chance for parole?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he gets out because he's done some weird shit, but he's done too much. But you know what I mean? He's 80 years old. Like, do you think he's going to be hitchhiking, doing the whole thing again? He can't.
I think he would. He'd try.
He would try.
He'd get that Dodge. He'd get himself a new Dodge Plymouth. Because I
Yeah,
don't think they
just
ever stop, right?
I don't know, but what if he's just tired? It says that he is in prison. Not only is he is so cooperative in California medical facility. It says he's serving life at California Medical Facility. Do you know what that is?
No, that must be a state hospital or something. Maybe he's so old
Ma-
and he's dying or something.
It says where he remains cooperative and even records audiobooks for the blind.
What?
Yes, fun fact.
The funnest facts of all. We absolutely must get those on. I must get those.
You're gonna get them, right?
Yeah, listen to them at night, like in my Audible.
Oh, because you can do that, not read.
Yeah, I can't read, but I can listen. How fucking creepy is that?
I know. I knew you would love that. And here is what this is. I just looked it up. California Medical Facility, established in 1955, is a state prison that provides medical, psychiatric, and dental care for male felons within the corrections center. I mean, so he's in basically a hospital. It seems like.
Yeah, and that's where they go to get their teeth cleaned. And
Yeah, but he's in a psych ward. It looks like that seems like a prison slash medical facility.
yeah, I wonder how rough those are.
Yeah, not nearly as rough as prison. He's just sitting around making books for the blind. What the fuck?
What a stupid thing.
Do you hate it or you like it?
I mean, I hate it so much, but I love that I can actually go out and purchase one of these because I'm so curious to know what it's like. I need him to be like his version of like War and Peace.
Are you purchasing it immediately?
Yeah, where do you find these?
I'm sure you can do it. Ed Kemper audiobooks. Boom. Right here. Edmund Kemper, The True Story of Going Audio. No, where's his audiobooks?
Tell me he's on the App Store or wherever the fuck it's called. On Amazon Audible.
Listen to Discovery playlist featuring Ed Kemper reads Flowers in the Attic.
Oh my god, that's a scary ass movie anyway.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you
I'm so
17 books narrated by Ed Kemper.
Flowers in the Attic?
I'm going to send you this link. He got Flowers in the Attic. He did The Rosemary Murders. He did Star Wars trilogy.
Oh my god. Ed Kemper doing Star Wars.
Petals in the Wind. He's done, oh my god, he's done so many things. All for the Blind.
Yeah,
It's a
what a
project.
fucking, what a guy.
Hey, what a guy.
What a guy.
Holy shit, what a fun way to end it.
I think that's it.
Come back next week we are going to do one on, what's her name?
Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrand.
Yes, the YouTube mother that acted all perfect and sweet, but ended up really being a fucking psychopath and hurting her children.
Yeah, and her best friend who ran that Choice Center cult, Connections cult.
Yeah, Connections Goal, exactly. So that's up next week. So come back.
Tune into the Crime Murder Man podcast. Andy got the facts, Amanda spitting fast. Delve into the night, mysteries unfold. Cold cases sitting deep, not a story told. Serial killers lurking in the shadows, they creep. Amanda's got the files, secrets she keep. Andy dissecting, forensic on the mic. Every episode hits, spine chilling like a knife. Murder Man podcast, voices in the dark, solving every puzzle piece, never miss the mark. Andy and Amanda, truth they unmask. Tune in every week for the twisted task. On the trail of a killer, blood runs cold. Eyewitness tales and legends old. Amanda breaking down clues piece by piece. Andy putting it together, never seeing peace. Whispers in the wind, serial mind unfazed. Evidence presented, audience amazed. Grim tales of murder, heartbreak and loss. Andy and Amanda, the duo, no one's boss. Murder Man podcast, voices in the dark, solving every puzzle piece, never miss the mark. Andy and Amanda, truth they unmask. Tune in every week for the twisted task. Murder Man podcast, twisted task. Tune into the Crime Murder Man podcast. For the twisted task. Murder Man podcast, voices in the dark, solving every puzzle piece, never miss the mark. Andy and Amanda, truth they unmask. Tune in every week for the twisted task. Every week for the twisted task.